This striking looking thing is the Audi Q8 that's finally officially been unveiled, and yes, it's likely to be coming to India eventually. But with so many new SUVs joining the fray, just where does it fit exactly? Well, that's what we're going to try and find out in this first look video. But before that, if you haven't done so already, be sure to click on that subscribe button for more great automotive content. And also click on the bell icon next to it to be notified each time we put up a new video. With the biggest number Audi has thus far attached to the letter Q, you'll have guessed that it sits above the Q7 in the company's range. But it's not a bigger SUV. Instead, it's a stylish, sporty, low-slung coupe-like offering that will rival its German counterparts, the BMW X6 and the Mercedes-Benz GLE Coupe, both of which are nearing the end of their life cycles. At first, it might not look strictly coupe-like, thanks to Audi's use of straight lines as opposed to curves, but look closer and you'll see the Q8 features a strikingly angled rear windscreen and also has frameless doors. It's impossible to have missed that new grille, aggressive even by Audi standards, which features 6 vertical chrome fins and is surrounded by gaping black intakes and very slim headlamps. There are bulging wheel arches inspired by the Quattro rally car from the 1980s and the option of 22-inch wheels, the largest ever on an Audi, but not quite as large as the 23 inches you get on the Q8's cousin, the Lamborghini Urus. Round the back, that sloping roof ends in a light bar connecting the heavily sculpted LED tail lamps, and that really emphasizes the car's width. Do you like the way the Audi Q8 looks? Do you hate it? Let us know in the comments below. Although the Q8 is shorter than the Q7 on which it's based, this is entirely down to the smaller overhangs at the front and rear. At 5 meters long and 2 meters wide, this is still a very large SUV. It's actually a full 27 millimeters wider than a Q7. The wheelbase is virtually identical though at almost 3 meters, which means interior space is nearly identical to a Q7, except of course that there are only 5 seats, not 7. Boot space is 650 liters with the seats up and 1755 liters with them down, which again is a bit less than the Q7. Inside is where the Q8 departs quite heavily from its SUV sibling and instead feels more like its limousine counterpart, the A8. And that's largely because of the new dual touchscreen layout on the center console. Love it or hate it. The upper 10.1-inch screen controls the infotainment and navigation functions, while the lower 8.1-inch screen controls the heating, ventilation and AC systems. While these allow the dashboard to have very few buttons on it and give the interior a minimalist look, they can be a pain to use while on the move, as you can see in our reviews of the new A8 and A6, which are linked in the video description below. Similarly, the interior trims and equipment are pulled straight out of the A8, and there's abundant use of leather and chrome. Buyers can choose from numerous enhancements including 4 types of leather, 3 types of seat design, and a choice of sound systems that is crowned by a 23-speaker Bang & Olufsen setup, which, going by previous Audi systems, should sound exquisite. As standard, the car has 7 selectable driving modes that alter the suspension, steering and engine, ranging from off-road modes to more sporting setups. The Q8 can also be specified with one of 3 different types of suspension, one with steel springs, 2 with air springs, and it's the latter that's likely to come to India. Initially, the Q8 will be available with a choice of 2 3-liter V6 engines, a 340 horsepower petrol called the 55 TFSI, and a 286 horsepower diesel called the 50 TDI. And yes, that naming system still remains utterly baffling. A less powerful 230 horsepower 3-liter diesel V6, the 45 TDI, will be offered later on. All 3 engines employ 48-volt electrical technology as pioneered on the SQ7 that powers an electric compressor to eliminate turbo lag, active anti-roll bars to improve handling, and even energy recuperation. And speaking of the Q7, since this is meant to be a sporty SUV, hotter versions of the Q8 are very likely, potentially including an SQ8 that could be offered with a petrol-electric hybrid powertrain. So the Audi Q8 in a nutshell, it's a more radical, less practical version of the Q7 with the interior and technology of the A8 and the raked roof and sporty character to take on the BMW X6 and Merc GLE Coupe. But that's a long way off and not before 2019. In the meantime, tell us what you think about the Audi Q8 in the comments below, and stay tuned to Autocar India for more exciting motoring videos.